If you just finished episode 6, I want to give you a moment. That episode covers a lot of difficult ground. The Costello report and what it omits. The captain who told Iva Bradley there was no standard operating procedure for a missing passenger. The 2-track effort to remove Amy's image from every piece of video on that ship. Then the lawsuit, what happened to it and why. And then there's something we touched on at the end of the episode that I want to address directly here because I think it deserves a little bit more than a few sentences. In December 2005, the Bradley family signed a legal agreement with Royal Caribbean in exchange for the cruise line withdrawing a significant financial motion it had filed against them in court. The Bradleys agreed to never publicly name the cruise line or the ship in any interview or public statement about Amy's disappearance. Think about what that means in practice. For nearly 20 years, Ron, Iva, and Brad sat down with reporters, appeared on documentaries, or spoke publicly about what happened to their daughter. They were doing it under a legal agreement that prevented them from naming the company or the vessel responsible for the environment where she vanished. They could say Amy disappeared from a Caribbean cruise, but they couldn't say which one. The agreement also contains a specific acknowledgement from Royal Caribbean. They explicitly state that the Bradleys deny they committed fraud on the court and that the agreement itself is not an admission that they did. Royal Caribbean got a signed settlement. The Bradleys got one sentence. I'm not going to editorialize further on what their agreement represents. I think the document speaks for itself, but it is part of the record now, and it belongs in this series. What I want to say before we move on is this. The Bradleys have been operating inside constraints that most people who followed this case had no idea existed. Every interview, every public appearance, every time they've spoken about Amy over the last 2 decades, almost 3, and still they kept going. They kept searching, they kept talking within the limits they were given to do so, and they never stopped pushing for answers. And that context is worth carrying into episode 7, because episode 7 is about the people who saw Amy the morning she disappeared and after. 3 witnesses, 3 separate accounts, 3 moments across 7 years where someone looked at a woman and believed they were looking at Amy Bradley. The first is David Carmichael, a Canadian engineer who was on a dive trip in Curacao 5 months after Amy disappeared. He noticed a tattoo. He noticed a man who stared at him in a way he has never been able to forget, and he has thought about that beach encounter every day for 28 years. The second is Judy Maurer. She was a tourist on vacation in Barbados in 2005, 7 years after Amy disappeared. What she witnessed was close. It was confined, and it stayed with her ever since. Judy has shared her story before, but never in this kind of depth. She sat down with us, and what she shared goes further than anything she's said publicly before. And then the third is Lori, one of the 2 young women who were on the Rhapsody of the Seas the night Amy disappeared, who spent the evening in the same space as Amy and Alistair Douglas, who saw something in the early morning hours of March 24th, 2 people heading in a glass elevator that she knew to be Amy and Douglas, who reported it to the ship security and was questioned, a conversation that never appeared in the official record. Lori has never done a long-form interview until now. 3 witnesses, 3 accounts, evaluated carefully and honestly, and the science of what human memory can and cannot reliably hold across years and decades. So that's this week. On Wednesday, Witness Wednesday with Lori. Friday, episode 7, Scene. We'll see you then. If you have information about Amy Bradley's disappearance, please contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip at tips.fbi.gov. Tips can be submitted anonymously. The FBI reward is now $100,000. For more on Amy and the family's ongoing search, visit amybradleyismissing.com. There, you can also submit tips as well, and I encourage you to do it. Links to that site, as well as the Amy Alerts petition, are in the show notes. During the full run of this series, 100% of commissions through our Invisaware Personal Safety Partnership go directly to the Bradley family's GoFundMe. Get 10% off your first order using the link invisaware.com/MidnightMysteryArchive, also linked in the show notes, and support the show at no extra cost too by shopping through our Amazon link, also in the show notes and linked on our website homepage. Follow the Midnight Mystery Archive on Substack, X, or join our official Facebook group for updates. Another thing you can do that I would really appreciate is a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, which goes a long way in helping us grow our audience, bring new ears to Amy's case.